Hello and welcome to today's video, and this is part 2. So in the previous video I did the emergency light on the right that's currently lit. This is the maintained emergency exit sign. I've also done a video of the non-maintained standard emergency light, which you can see in buildings, and in this video I'm going to do the LED version on the left, and this has been wired as a switched version. And the reason why I'm doing this is because outside of my apartment we have emergency lights which are switch operated, which I can show in a second. So first we'll show you the light in the off position, and then in the on position, and then back in the off position. And of course, if I turn off the power now, only this light will work, because the battery that was in the fluorescent light charging is now back in the light fitting, which is broken and doesn't actually charge. So before we go into that, I'm going to just quickly pause the video and show you some switched light fittings, and then we'll go inside this unit. Now this is a switched emergency light, and you've also seen this in a previous video. However, now this one is also now LED. And to turn on the light, there we go. And as I go down through the property, we have LED ones, and we also have this one over here, which is one of the original fluorescent ones. Very good. And at the bottom we also have a fluorescent fire exit sign and some of the other emergency things you have as well. And outside we have one of the IP65 rated non-maintained versions. So I think we'll start with showing the power consumption of this light. With the light out, the wattage is sort of rolling around between 3.8 and 4.2 watts. Power has gone up a little bit, it's now 242.2 volts, 50 hertz, and we have an amp reading of 0.033 and a power factor of 47. And if I turn on the light, the power factor is climbing to 0.60. Wattage has stayed the same, and that's so very little's changing on the watts and the amps, but it is an LED light fitting, so the charging circuit would be used more than the LEDs. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go back to the light, and we'll take it apart and show some of the things inside it. So here again we have the light in the switched version, with it being on and off, back on again. Underneath we have an LED light, and we also have a test button. Again, we have the light underneath to light up the doorway, and if you press the test button it proves that it works. However, this light, as I said, is not charging. Here is the make of the light fitting, and I think that's Lexington, I'm not 100% sure. 3-watt LED emergency, and some more information. And to get these covers off, you have to undo the 2 screws at the bottom, which I've already taken out. Now I'm going to pause this just for a second while I do this, because this is quite loud. Just pop the cover off. Again, remove the plastic. Little man running downstairs to an exit. And inside we have the wiring. We have this power supply, and at the moment the mains is on, so I better turn the mains off for safety reasons. Right, mains is now off, so light is now on. Again, we have the wiring at the top, and I'm going to unplug this from here so we can see it better. Again, we have the wiring. Starting on the left, we have blue neutral, then we have earth, yellow and green, and we also have an earth wire clamping to the outer shell. Then we have live, permanent live brown, and we also have a black wire going from permanently live brown to switched. The little connector that goes up to the LEDs is battery plus, minus and plus LED. And we also have a few other circuits on there as well, and somewhere on this board there is a fault, which is the reason why this is not charging correctly. Sometimes the light turns on and off on its own, and other times it does absolutely nothing. But if you leave this battery connected on this light, it just goes flat. The LEDs, there's very little information in here on this one, but the LEDs are at the top, and I don't know if we can actually see that. And the writing is it's got a date on there from the 11th of the 12th 2020. The battery I've got in this is a new one, and this one is dated 3rd of the 12th 2022, and basically they ripped this out at my workplace and basically threw it in a skip, and the first thing I did was take it out. So I now have 2 of these light fittings. I have the 8-watt fluorescent version, and I've got this version as well. Again, it's the same mounting points, but this time only 2 at the top. Again, for screw mounting, there's one of them, and there's one up on the opposite side where the wires come through. This one had a hole drilled in the back for where the wires came through, and of course you've also got the metal conduit mounting point as well, which I mentioned in a previous video. The test button can be removed, and again, even with the power turned off, well, I've got to plug it back in, of course. Light won't work, but if you press the button, it'll flash on and off with the power. So I think the best thing to do now is to put this light back together and end this video. So there we go, power on, green LED showing it's charging, and again, switch on, switch off. This is where the fault is, doesn't always turn off. and when there it goes, it's flashing. Something this light does. But if this light is on, it isn't actually charging. So I'll just turn off the main light. Plenty of light again. Of course, mains power off. Does nothing, that switch now. Mains power back on. So this light will do this for a bit, randomly flashing on and off, and then eventually it will turn off and does seem to accept a charge. So I'd like to say thanks again for watching. Please like and subscribe. Goodbye. And a little bit of bonus footage. On the left, an LED 4-watt emergency light. On the right, an 8-watt maintained emergency light, and in front, an 8-watt non-maintained emergency light. Now obviously, to get all these to work in this way, this one and this one are currently unplugged, and the one on the right is currently plugged in. So that's why that one is a little dimmer. So thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, and see you again soon. Goodbye.